Hey guys, so I'm super excited to bring you another Cook the Book. It's been a really long time. I love cooking and I'm so happy to be back in this kitchen again. Okay, so we're making pancakes and waffles and it's a little after 3 p.m. but honestly, there's no right time for pancakes and waffles. And these are special pancakes and waffles because they are from one of our cookbooks here at the library, Love and Lemons Every Day. I picked this up because I saw it had lemons in it. I said, oh, does that mean everything in here has lemons? No, but pretty close. It is written by Janine Donofrio and Jack Matthews, and it's jam-packed with all sorts of recipes for you. And a lot of them are vegan and gluten-free as well. So we're going to start with lemon cornmeal pancakes. You wouldn't think lemon was supposed to be put in pancakes, but after seeing this recipe, it's supposed to be put in pancakes. All right. It may or may not stay open for us. So I've gone ahead and pre-mixed our batter. And I have my griddle already preheating that I may or may not have burned myself on, but that's okay. So it calls for 1 3/4 cups of whole wheat pastry flour. But it says here, it has a note, you could do 1 cup of all-purpose flour, which is what I chose to do. It also calls for 1/2 cup of cornmeal, 2 tablespoons of cane sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 1/2 cups of almond milk, 1 tablespoon of lemon zest, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, plus some more if you wanted to squeeze it over top, 2 large eggs, and a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, plus more for the pan, which it's already spread on this. I may have to put a little bit more though, that's okay. And maple syrup because it's pancakes. So this one's pretty straightforward. If you made pancakes before, you just make the batter and you pour it on the griddle. I am terrible at pouring things on a griddle out of a bowl. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take one of my measuring cups here. That was loud. One of my measuring cups, and I'm just going to get a little bit of it. And like I said, this is just all those ingredients I said mixed together. I'm gonna make sure it's not gonna fall off. I am not a chef, I just really like to cook, and we all know the first rule of pancakes is that the first one always looks like trash, but that's okay. It's not gonna mean it's any less delicious. And I'm just gonna leave that. Actually, I'm gonna make another one. See if I can get it more even. Okay, so it's spreading out beautifully, which is exactly what I want. Let's hope that goes well. Okay. So I'm gonna spread out another pancake. This one may or may not look a little worse than the first. Oh, wait. Okay. It's evened out a little bit, which is great. Okay. So my dad always taught me that when you make pancakes, you wait until you see tiny bubbles popping from the middle of the pancake. And when the tiny bubbles pop, that means it's ready to flip. If you try and do it before that, it's going to fall apart on your spatula, and I'm going to try my very best to avoid doing that. So I'm waiting. I see 1 or 2 kind of big ones pop, and I want to make sure all of my bubbles are coming up and they're popping before I go to flip it over. So we're just going to sit here and we're going to wait for these, and while we're waiting for these, I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to tell you about the other recipe we're going to do today. From the same book, but it is almond buckwheat waffles. A little misleading because I could not find buckwheat flour. That's okay. I looked up a substitute, and apparently you can use almond flour for the same thing. You'll just have to mess around with the wet ingredients a little bit just to get it exactly right. I'm still waiting for these bubbles to pop. I may not have my griddle hot enough. That's okay. And we're just gonna wait for these to pop. I've got my mini waffle maker heating up so we can do the next ones. I got this at Target for $10. It's adorable. I suggest it. As I see some bubbles popping, and I'm just going to test it with the edge of my spatula. Yeah, no. This is not what we want. Batter on our spatula is not, it means it's not ready to flip yet. It's not quite done. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. And I'm going to grab a paper towel and wipe the raw batter off the side of my spatula. And this book is available for checkout in our library. I just pulled it off the shelf this morning. and got it ready for you guys. And we're still waiting on it. I'm gonna let this see. It looks like it's browning just a little bit. Watch me, like, no. We're gonna wait a little bit more until those bubbles look like they're all gone. So apparently I forgot how hot the griddle needed to be for pancakes. It's been a while. My father would be very upset with me because we've made pancakes many times. I'm scared to do it because it doesn't look like it's done yet. It smells good. Yeah, no. Not quite. And like I said with the buckwheat one that we're going to do, I checked 4 stores in Thomasville and I couldn't find buckwheat flour. But the great thing about the second one is that it's gluten-free too. So I'm super excited to make our waffles in that as well. Okay, it looks like it's done. I'm just really bad at this. It's pancake. All right, see, this one looks pretty good. It's pretty brown and it's crispy. I may have let it go for a little bit longer and I hit this other pancake. That's okay. That's probably the best pancake flip I've ever done, which I'm very shocked I did that. All right, so we still have our bubbles popping on this one. That one didn't turn out so well. That's okay. I'm just gonna flatten it out a little bit. All right, they're looking pretty good. They look pretty golden. And we're just gonna let them finish cooking on the other side. And I would say those look like 2 very good pancakes. And we're just gonna finish that. And when we're done, we'll move the griddle and we'll make our mini waffles, which I am very excited for. In the meantime, while these are cooking, I'll go ahead and let you know the ingredients for the mini waffles. I've already pre-measured some of them out. I'm just gonna have to measure some maple syrup and the almond flour. So, for the buckwheat waffles, it's gonna be 1.5 cups of almond milk at room temperature, which I have in that bowl. It's 1.5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, which is right there. We have 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. We have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 cup of almond flour, and 1 cup of buckwheat flour. But like I said, I had to use 2 cups of almond flour. And we have 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and a heaping 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. And for serving, you would top it with maple syrup for all sorts of fun things. Let's see how well our pancakes are faring. Just gonna make sure they can go for a little longer. That's fine. So while those are cooking, I'm just gonna shimmy this out of the way. And I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing our other stuff so that we have time. I just realized something. I have 1 mixing bowl. It's okay, I'll fix that. That'll be fine. Okay. So it says that we have to preheat our waffle iron, which that's doing. I don't know about you guys, but I don't ever cook waffles and pancakes the same day. It just seems a little much, but honestly, it felt right to do it today. So, and both of them used almond flour, so that's pretty great. Yeah, these pancakes are gluten-free as well, that's pretty good. Okay. Let me make sure. I've never seen pancakes look like this, but they're done. So I'm gonna flip it that way. So these are our finished pancakes. I'm super excited to eat these, and I would, but I don't want to take off my mask while Cody's in here filming. So these are our pancakes. They are done. They smell delicious. You can smell the lemon coming off of them. It's not a strong smell, but it's subtle enough. And lemon does a great thing with food, and it makes it a lot brighter. It brings out all the other flavors. So we have that. I'm going to turn, not to 400, I'm going to turn off my griddle to 0 and let it sit here and cool. And second. I forgot another mixing bowl. That won't work. Okay. Hey, we're gonna wing it. That's okay. So. Ow! Yeah, don't do that. I just burned my hand. It's okay. It doesn't hurt that bad. Be careful with your waffle iron, please. Okay, so waffle iron is super hot. Don't touch that. I'm gonna pour a little bit of olive oil on it. Just a little bit, just to coat it a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a paper towel and coat the top of that as well. Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna make sure not to touch it. All I want to do is coat it and make sure it's in there. I don't want to hold it too long on here because it is very hot. And I'm going to soak up some of the olive oil that I put in the bottom and I'm going to put it on the top. In fact, I have a towel. There's my towel. I'm going to use my towel to hold on to it as well. Okay. Okay. It may stick a little bit, that's okay. If you have cooking spray, use that instead. I forgot cooking spray, so that's fine. Okay. So, there's that. Alright. And we're going to use just 2 bowls. We'll split it in half. That'll be alright. So, a recipe for this. We already know what it calls for. We have our almond milk. And it says we need to put our almond milk, our apple cider vinegar, our maple syrup, our coconut oil, and vanilla. So, I'm going to go ahead and pour this in here. Our coconut oil. Did I say vanilla? And our vanilla is right here. Okay. And how much did it say for vanilla? 1 teaspoon. And those are over here too. Alrighty. I've been doing a lot of baking today, so it's kind of all over the place. That's okay. I'm going to put that in the sink to be washed. I'll leave that over there. Okay. And we have our coconut oil, our vanilla extract. We need our maple syrup. So, and it calls for 2 tablespoons, but I'm going to eyeball it. And I just realized I didn't open this. Open things beforehand. I'm just going to pop that open with a knife. That'll be fine. Alrighty. Okay. I'm going to put the cap on it so it doesn't go all over the place. And I pour about 2 tablespoons. And honestly, what's a little extra maple syrup going to do to us? Not much. Okay, you have that. Apple cider vinegar's in there, coconut oil's in there, vanilla's in there. So I'm going to take my fork, rinse it off from when I used it for the pancake batter. I'm just going to mix this up a little bit and get it together. Okay. It's supposed to do this, I promise. It's vinegar and almond milk. I swear. Alright. So, the next thing we're going to do is mix our flour, our flaxseed, cinnamon, nutmeg, and salt. So, we have our flour here. Like I said, I'm probably going to mix it in 2 bowls. But that's okay. That's just what happens when I don't plan a little bit. That's fine. Alright, I'm going to rinse my batter off. I hope you guys are having a great day. I've enjoyed baking today. It's very rare that I can say that I get to bake sometimes for work, which is fantastic. Alright, now I'm going to do 2 cups of it. We'll see if both cups fit in the bowl. In that one, I really doubt it. That's okay if they don't. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think they would. Okay. That's fine. We'll just divvy it up. I can get a decent cut. Okay. We'll do it this way. Baking, you have to improvise sometimes. Alright. So, after that it says we have to pour the wet mixture into the bowl of dry. So I'm going to pour half and half, and we'll do it that way. Okay, that worked fine. Now I'm going to take a fork and I'm going to combine it. And this is the one that is gluten-free. So it'll make a gluten-free mixture, and it's bubbling. That's kind of cool. Yeah, stay away from that. Okay. And it's okay if it's a little lumpy. That's what the recipe says, so I'm just going to follow that. And that's perfectly fine. Actually, it may have been a little off. That's okay. Follow me. All right. So, the next thing we're going to do, actually, I'm going to stir this up first. My bad for not having another mixing bowl, but that's okay. Let me spilled cinnamon. That's okay. Alright. So, I'm going to pour about half of that in there. And pour the other half in here. Okay. I'm just going to make it from this one for now. Okay, this looks good and it smells good now. And it actually looks like really good batter. It almost reminds me of banana pancakes. And I'll mix that later when I'm done. I really hope you guys will come and check this book out. It has a lot of great recipes other than this one. So now what I'm going to do is pour our batter. I'm going to check our ingredient list first and make sure with everything, which I think we do. And it says 4 to 5 minutes to cook. Well, this is the mini one, so I'm not sure about the 4 to 5 minutes. And I almost spilled it. That's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bowl that I have here, and I'm going to slowly put that in there. Okay. And close it. It's okay if it spills out around the sides a little bit. It's a waffle maker. It's supposed to do that. If it doesn't do that, I don't think you're doing it right. So, it smells so good. It smells like cinnamon. So I'm going to wait a couple minutes, and it is bubbling out the side. That's okay. It's been a long time since I've used a waffle maker too. It's alright. It'll be okay. I think I prefer the pancakes, but that's probably because I'm not that great at waffle. So, I'm going to let it sit here for a minute, and then I'll pop it out. It does smell delicious. Okay. I'm going to use my towel to open it up so we don't want to burn it. I'm just going to check. Nope, not done yet. Definitely not done yet. I really hope you guys enjoyed those recipes, and I'm so excited to go and eat these pancakes. You would put some maple syrup on it, obviously, and I'm going to finish these off screen, and this will be done in just a minute. So thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm super excited to show you this. Please come check out this cookbook. It has some great recipes in it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.